Weekly update for Friday, October 30th. Okay, and bringing us right up to date on the Gavin Callaghan situation. Got in a copy of his zine, Masks. Dear Dave Sim, here is a copy of my magazine, Masks. Thank you, I received your postcard. It said it, quote, wouldn't arrive in good condition, unquote, but it arrived in perfect shape. Sorry the typeface / font size in my mag is so small. Live and learn. We'll make it bigger next time. Sincerely, GDC. And I wrote back to him explaining that I have very limited reading time, but I had flipped through the magazine and read parts of it and thought it was really pretty good. But again, didn't have time to read it all the way through. And then I did read it all the way through. So after that, I wrote to Gavin, "Hi Gavin, this is 19 September 2020. Okay, I did end up reading all of Masks #1. Obviously, I disagree with you about Islam, but obviously you did a great job with this. Great enough that I actually proofread it as I was going. Scans attached when I get Rolly to email them to you on Thursday, which I only do with work I consider to be of professional caliber as a professional courtesy. And, quote, as long as I'm in here anyway, unquote thing. I might as well flag the typos. Islam in the comics isn't exhaustive, but it is comprehensive. I particularly admire the way that you had quoted extensively from comic book letters of comment from Muslim readers and then from the editorial replies to them. A very balanced approach, and yes, you nail a lot of liberal apologist inconsistencies very adroitly. We're at the opposite ends of the Islam political spectrum, but we do share the view of, quote, can we at least talk intelligently about this without defaulting to the knee-jerk liberal, quote, mustn't sound like a racist, mustn't say anything that could be construed as racist by anyone, unquote. And the answer is always equal parts, I don't know what you mean, unquote, quote, unquote, and quote, no, unquote, until now. So congratulations on that. Likewise, your KKK in the comics article. There are different opinions about the resurgence of the KKK in the 1920s, but it's very seldom you read anything that actually analyzes the dynamics behind that. And as you say, how that dovetails with the masked vigilante superhero motif and its pulp magazine origins. Superheroes come directly from the KKK rationale. People aren't going to want to hear that, but once a thing is seen, it can't be unseen. Beyond the professional courtesy, I hated to think of giving anyone the forensic excuse to evade what you're saying, a quirky vice of the forensically dismissive, because you have single hyphens instead of double hyphens, or M dashes. If you eliminate these distractions, you sharpen your argument. I have no problem sharpening an argument that isn't my own. Quite the contrary. It's so seldom that you run across an argument that just needs sharpening in this age of ad hominem attacks. It's a genuine pleasure to do so. Your unprofessional cover and logos seem to me in the same category. So I've mocked up something that isn't going to win any Harvey Awards, but at least looks like an upmarket Tomorrow's style zine. I'm hoping you're printing these one at a time and can just plug in corrections and switch covers. I'm going to get Benjamin Hobbs, who's forwarding this to you, to do the color on the cover. I'm lousy at that, and he's great at that. What goes with pastel lime green and flesh tone pink? A question you would only ask in the comic book field, where garish are us. If that isn't the case, if you actually have a print run of these, let me know how many, and I'll get Studio Comics Press here in town to do 8.5 by 11 prints of the Dave Sim cover, sign them, and send them to you, and you can include them with the future copies you send out / get orders for. I had the same reaction you did to Art Spiegelman's roundtable in the Comics Journal. An unbelievable level of cowardice and fear of subjective preference. Art, it's your anthology. It's being done because you're Art Spiegelman. The idea that you can't permit yourself to like something you liked as a kid because the liberal, quote, consensus, unquote, has moved the goalposts on you. And a sense that this is what all of us should be doing, chasing the goalposts in everything that we do and say and think. Where do I think the goalposts are going next? Must get there before they do. Anyway, if none of this interests you, no harm, no foul. I'm still going to plug masks on the weekly update. I've done a lead-in teaser giving the UFO background to all this before actually plugging the magazine. It should be up on A Moment of Cerebus sometime in October or November. Win, lose, or draw, you're welcome to use my version of your logo wherever you want. Sincerely, Dave Sim. So, this is, whoops, that's the back cover. This is the front cover of Masks that Gavin did, which I don't think I'm stretching a point saying that it was unprofessional. And this is the mocked up cover that I did for him. And spoiler alert, for those of you who are thinking they'll buy Masks #1 and see what Gavin has to say about Dave Sim currently. One of the more eccentric pro-Islamic voices in independent comics is Cerebus creator Dave Sim. Only Sim could possibly do justice to his own views, which are too complex and odd to explore fully here. Suffice it to say that his pro-patriarchal tendencies have led him to practice Judaism, Christianity, and Islam simultaneously. And he's got an exclamation mark in the parentheses. Can you believe that? Sim is certainly to be credited for openly admitting the misogynistic basis of Islam, which I don't think I did, but okay. Something which most progressive Islamic apologists these days either ignore or deny. For Sim, however, it apparently forms the main attraction. No, I wouldn't describe misogyny in Islam as the main attraction. But there you go. Out of however many pages, the Islam in the Comics by Gavin Callaghan. Here's the title page. That's Dave Sim's part in Islam in the Comics. Okay, that'll do it for this weekly update, and I hope we'll see a bunch of you again next week.